Button. Oh, yeah. Woo! Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom. I'm a fantasy sports addict. This is podcast 106. Today I am joined by Andrew from Fantasy Aid.
Hey.
I got shit all over the keyboard here. Whoops. How you doing today, Andrew?
Pretty good.
We are in the 8th round of the DynastyOneStop 16-team startup dynasty. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to start with some news, if that's okay with you, Andrew.
Yep.
Okay, so the hot new news. Let's get into it. The website, FantasySportsAddicts.com, is live. New website. Check it out. Go there right now. Feel free. Here's a little sneak preview. I'll show you. That's what it looks like. Brand new. You got your daily reflection and news and articles and new videos and tabs and all that stuff. All the good stuff you'd expect on a website like this. And down at the bottom, we got links to friends pages and all that kind of stuff. But when you visit for the first time, be sure you scroll through the menu bar because there are archives for like archived podcasts. There's some archived videos, some of the funnier stuff we've done throughout the years. And of course, you know, broken down by sport, you can get articles, podcasts, videos, etc. And we don't have any miscellaneous shit yet. That's coming. That'll be like just, you know, things like what does fucked out a window mean? What's rum ham? We'll give you a little, lexicon of FSAA, stuff like that. But if you click the Addicts tab, it'll tell you, give you a little bio for everybody who plays Fantasy Sports Addicts leagues, current, past members, that kind of thing. And then, of course, if you click on the FSAA leagues tab, you will get the championships, and the pull down gives you all the current leagues we're in together. So it's pretty handy, pretty nice little tool. And following that up, I am working on new shirts. There will be new FSAA shirts. That'll be pretty cool. I'm waiting for my proof in the mail. It's I think it's a little better design than we had last time, and hopefully, the fabric's going to be a little nicer and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully you guys can check one of those out. Grab yourself one. $20, I think, is like the base price. Pretty reasonable, I think. But yeah, let's get right into this. This is the startup for DynastyOneStop. That would be, Nathan. That would be his first year at Dynasty, and this is his first league he's ever commissioned. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I've never. He's always co-commissioned. I've never been in a league he's commissioned, though, redraft or otherwise. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. What about you? I mean, how are you feeling about this? Do you trust in Nate Dogg here from DynastyOneStop? Were you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this league.
This is okay. So it's 16 teams, rotisserie, obviously, 6x6 scoring, and instead of like average, it's on base percentage and then slugging, and then for your pitching categories, it saves plus holds. And a little bit different here, we have, instead of just plain wins, we have starter wins. So you're not picking up wins out of the bullpen. That's kind of a different setup.
Yeah, I've never played in a league that's used starter wins.
No, I haven't either.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I
wonder how that classifies, like, because think about the Tampa Bay openers and stuff. So,
well, that, as far as I'm aware, that is reliant on, do they get to that 5 innings pitched? You know,
that's not an opener. They bring in one guy for an inning, and they bring in a guy for 5 innings, like Yanni Torinos. I guess that wouldn't count as a win.
No, you have to get that 5 innings for that win, I believe. Or, I guess. I mean, that'll be interesting because the way I understand it, it is starters wins. So if you open the game and you go 5 innings, I mean, that's a start. So
Yeah.
it's not an open, really. So a little bit different setup. Of course, there's quality starts as well, which, it's a little, Nate felt like it was a little redundant. He wanted to get rid of wins altogether, but he didn't know what to really replace it with. And so he just kind of tried something different. Obviously, I'm sure he's flexible as, the seasons go along. But we have a good crew. We have a lot of good managers in this league. A lot of the usual suspects from, the home dynasties and all that other stuff. But we got a couple of guys from FFO leagues and just, other places. So I like the crew we've got. Right now we're about 7.5, almost 8 rounds through. This is about the point where everybody's got the core of their team, or they've got roughly, the direction they've carved out. And it's kind of interesting to see what some of these teams have done. It's about what you'd expect for a 16-team draft. You got your win now teams, you got your tricycle teams that are all prospects. I guess that's something else we should, kind of let everybody know. You can go full tank. Like, you don't even have to have a full roster. It's pretty interesting. So as far as like what your roster actually is, it's, I believe, 13 position players, pretty standard. 2 utility, middle infield, corner infield, 4 outfield, and then 10 pitching slots, just straight P, not like SP, RP, any of that. And then really deep bench, 27 bench. And that's, that's where you get to do your prospects, or you hoard your prospects. Or in, certain players' cases, maybe that's where you keep a whole bunch of starting pitching or all that. It's daily lineup changes, so it's not like, by week. So there is a little bit of incentive to fill out that bench with players you can play on a daily basis. And of course, free agency, it's kind of standard for what we usually do. The free agent acquisition bidding, right? $1,000 budget. And I believe it's 3 times a week?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, if you got to go grab a free agent or a prospect or whatever it is, you got 3 times a week. You can do that. Throw your bid down. And with the Vickery bidding, it's like eBay. So say you bid your $1,000 and nobody else bids anything, you're not out $1,000 immediately. You basically get that player for free. So that's kind of cool. But that's pretty standard for how we do all of our other leagues, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this because I'm not, I'm fairly well versed in prospects, but I'm not the most like prospect fiendish kind of person. Like my knowledge is okay, but I wouldn't say it's nearly as deep as some of these other managers, especially like, like you got a Phil or a Cubby Knoll, even Nate. I mean, and probably even you. I mean, I don't even know what my prospect knowledge is compared to you.
My extent is probably a little bit just beyond the top 100, like top 150, 200. So it's not like I'm going to have some issues in the later rounds. But
yeah. I figure probably by around like 40, 35, 40, I'm going to be like, is my kid in the player pool? Let's see, any T-ball players out there? But yeah, no, I think, drafts like these, if you've never done one, it's a good way to sort of, broaden your horizons, expand your knowledge. Like you're saying, if you're pretty much only familiar with like top 100, top 150, maybe now you're more familiar with like top 300 prospects or something like that.
Right. And it really helps you in other, like if you're in one deep dynasty, it helps you in any other one you're in, because you you can look at all these guys that are owned.
Exactly. Well, and then, like say it's not a tippy top prospect that's getting called up, but some guy that is going to get some sort of major league service time. Maybe he's not like a superstar or something like that, but it's a guy you're going to go pick up off the waiver wire. Like, oh, sweet, I got a nice little bullpen piece here. Like nice new reliever, shiny. Ooh, like. So you learn a little bit like that. I think that's the exciting part, doing, the draft this deep. So, again, just as usual, thank you for Nate and, the host for, commissioning the league. Again, you can check him out on Twitter at DynastyOneStop, all one word. Just check him out. And if you want to follow along with what we're doing on the draft, everybody's using the hashtag DS1Dynasty. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. But let's just jump right into it here. Like, we got 16 teams to look at, and we're going to try to keep this podcast as brief as possible. Again, we're only going through the first 7 rounds or so. But here we go. Let's just hopefully everybody can see that. We're going to go through by team, if that makes sense. That works for everybody. And some of these teams will obviously have 8 players. I said we're 7.5 rounds or so through. So,
well, only 2 people have picked so far in that 8th round.
Okay, well, see, you get what we're saying here. Here's okay. So Bishfat, I'm not sure what site he writes for. Is he FFO?
He's not.
No. Okay, I'm not sure. He's one of those guys that you just see in a bunch of leagues. You're just like, oh, there he is. There's that guy. He's obviously going with a bit of a mixed strategy here. Well, not too mixed. I guess Montes is his first sort of like really young player here, but he's started out.
Robles.
Yeah, yeah. Robles is young, but again, he's established, so I wouldn't it's not like a super young piece. But again, like, he started out, he was the guy that took the first pitcher with Garrett Cole. And actually, I think we thought Garrett Cole might go a little bit sooner than 6th overall. So that's a nice little 2-slot slide, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. He actually went with the top 2 free agents this year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Cole and Rendon, now that could be huge, actually. I mean, I think depending on where Cole ends up, he's going to be pretty much the same thing. But Rendon, if he goes to like a really nice lineup or a really nice park, maybe an uptick in the power. I mean, he certainly had a great year last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Meadows, there was some discussion early on in the draft about Meadows, who's high on Meadows? Are we high on Meadows? I want to say 3 or 4 dynasty shares of Meadows, so we know I like, Meadows. But yeah, I mean, there's, then some middle infield vets here, nothing too bad here. So that's a nice little win now. And then Chuck, I believe that is CJ Altman 75. I believe that's Chuck. He's got a win now team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The only real young piece that's and even then, you know what you're getting. Eloy is his youngest player, but Mookie, Beebs, Snell, and then he's got a real nice power speed combo here with Eugenio and Jonathan Villar. And Villar slid for a while, man. He was just hanging out.
I even think Suarez fell just a bit. I was actually looking at him a little bit before he got picked, and I was like, that'd be a nice pick here.
Yeah, he would have fit my team. I just, again, I think he went right before or right after where I was looking at him, so didn't really work out in that fashion for me. We've had some sniping and some rum ham. Somebody was complaining about how the last 32 picks had all been taken, that they were players they wanted, and I believe we called that the machine gun, not the snipe.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Cubby and Phil, Baseball Jedi. They are going full tricycle. I mean, they got Jordan, they were pretty stoked on that, but as soon as Wander fell to them, they were like, yippity doo dah. And then Robert, Lux.
Yeah, they hyped me on Lux.
Yeah. And then they were just talking about how Tucker had, Tucker's kind of in that prospect fatigue mode where people are kind of over the guy, or he's just sort of lost that shine of being a top prospect. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to see how young they end up. I mean, obviously they're going full tricycle, but the thing
Right.
is, a lot of these players will be, either relevant this year, getting a cup of coffee this year, or pretty much, ready to rock for 2021. So, assuming this league sticks around, and I would assume so, given the managers we have in here, like that could be a very competitive team. Now, they haven't really gone for any pitching yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they're the only team that hasn't taken a pitcher, but obviously, hitting prospects over pitching today.
Yeah. Well, and then there's there's no such thing as a pitching prospect. So, I could see them just like, we're just going to stack, offensive players and then trade for pitching that starts to pan out, like maybe a Casey Mize pans out or something like that, whatever. And here's your team, of course. You've sniped me a couple of times. You started out, you kind of shocked the world, not necessarily like major shock, but with Soto number 2 overall, like I would have expected maybe, one of the big 3 or the big 4,
Right.
like from your article.
And I really thought about that, but Soto gives me something that Bellinger could have, but I was the number 2 pick. I didn't know how people were going to enter the draft, or a lot of people would go win now or prospect. Soto works for both, so I could go either way with my team in that.
Well, and then you called your shot with your second pick. You're like, oh, I'm definitely going jumping jack here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I'm a Cardinals fan, and everyone knows Flaherty's second half.
Yeah. You sniped Olsen from me. That one was brutal. I was like really looking forward to Olsen. Like I was like, oh, that would have been perfect. Damn it.
He's the old man on my team at 25.
I know. Well, and then you ended up going with your third pitcher with Luzardo, and I was thinking Luzardo, but he was just a little bit young. I wasn't.
Right.
He was maybe a round early for me. But
yeah, he is going to have limits on especially innings this year. But
well, and you really you got Nate. Nate and I at that point in the draft, like you picked just after both Nate and I, and we both immediately were like, "Damn it, we should have taken pitching." And like I wasn't thinking Luzardo necessarily. I had mentioned Luzardo swinging back, but Nate's like, "Oh, he's not coming back to you." I was like, "Oh, okay, well." Figures as long as one of the guys I want comes back, but you went ahead and like just right after that, just yoink. I got your Luzardo, and Nate's like, "Damn it!" And I was like, "Damn it, because I knew I wasn't going to get the guys I wanted at that point. And you got your Biggio, so you're pretty nice up the middle here.
yeah.
I mean, are you going to be looking shortstop at some point, or?
Not in the next few picks. I kind of have one. Obviously, I'm not going to say, but I got who I lined up next. I didn't plan on going this pitcher heavy, but I don't know. I mean, I like rotation.
No, but it's nice. I mean, you've got your known knowns with your Flaherty and your Giolito, and then of course the upside with Luzardo. Like you said, innings limit, but that's not really something you're worried about first year of a dynasty. I mean. And here we go. Here's Fiddlin' Ben. That's David. That's Cubby's good buddy in Florida. He's definitely a win now team. No fucking around here. And then he ended up getting his Jeff McNeil too. Okay. So yeah, all win now. Lindor, J Ram, Bell, Clevenger, Berrios, Conforto, McNeil. I don't know that I would have been excited about Conforto, but you know what? It fits his team. He needs an outfielder. It's a 4 outfielder team, so totally fine with that. But yeah, he's one of the absolute win nows. I'd say there's 5, maybe 6 win now type teams.
Yeah.
And of course, here's mine. And I'm trying to kind of skirt the middle of the road here. Not half and half guy, but like win now within the context of, dynasty age range. Yelich obviously fell to me 5th overall, and I couldn't believe that. I mean, with that much power and speed, and like, all right, why not set the tone? I did get a little heat for jumping on Marte early, but being a D-backs fan, I had to get my kettle one, and then I got Black Snake Yon. I was excited about that.
Yeah, Moncada was a great pick.
Yeah, and that right around then was when I was looking at like, okay, do I go with the Matt Chapman? Do I go a little bit older with the Eugenio? And then I saw Moncada. I was like, oh, there we go, easy. And then I wanted pitching sooner than that maybe, but Luis Castillo is still there, so I sniped Nate on him. That made Nate's next pick. I think that's where Nate took his first prospect. He said that made his pick nice and easy. And then Correa, like I was surprised Correa was one as deep as he was in the player pool, but that he was even still there. So, all right, sweet. And then I got my grease ball. Here's where I missed, the Luzardo Severino situation. I really had wanted Severino. I should have taken Severino over the grease ball here. But Mancini, I wanted a first baseman. I didn't want to miss the boat because, like, basically the guys that were left were like Goldschmidt and like, just old dudes that I was like, just doesn't fit my roster construction. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to get my Palestinian chicken. Tyler Glasnow. I'm not sure how I feel about Ass now. James was like, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to regret it. And I never listen to James for some reason, and it always bites me in the ass. He's like, well, I'm glad you just drafted yourself a nice long reliever or closer.
I mean, at pick 101, and especially with the pitchers left on the board, I like Glasnow.
Yeah, I mean, after missing Luzardo, Severino, but he was suggesting a couple other pitchers, and I was like, maybe.
And
I don't know.
basically, you've got your infield set. You got first, short, second, and third.
Yeah, and that I was excited about, but then I was starting to think, outfield's starting to feel a little naked. But the good news is, like I can shove Mancini out into the outfield, and I can shove Kettle out into the outfield. Depending on what's still there. I mean, obviously, I was hoping for like maybe a Max Muncy to fall. He's been taken since then, so that doesn't work out. But somewhere in there. Somewhere along the way here, I should be able to find, some roster flexibility, fill out the outfield a little bit. But, where you've got like your third pitcher, a couple of these teams have third pitchers already. I'm like, kind of want my third pitcher now, especially considering my second pitcher is Glasnow, and he's going to be on what, like 150 innings limit, probably, if that.
He'll be on an innings limit.
So, I mean, for Dynasty, not that bad, but win now, that does affect my situation. So I need some greasy vets to slide on, just the greasy slide, That's what James and I always call it, the greasy slide. Sliding down here. Speaking of greasy slide. Now, I want to talk about this for a second because I'm a little torn on some of these. Okay, all right, John Routon. He's definitely a win now. What the hell just happened here?
I think you clicked his name.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you, trackpad. I hate this thing. Is there back? Okay, technical difficulties because I hate trackpads. If you're wondering why I'm using a trackpad, it's because USB-C is a pain in the ass, and it basically killed me. It broke! Okay, here we go. Let's just scrolling on down. Okay, back to Roten. Sorry, John. I'm not very good with name pronunciations here. But the Bregman, I love that. He got a little older with the corners with Freeman Macho, but still very nice. And then just tons of power with Gallo. Yeah, and then Stanton. Like that's pretty ridiculous.
If Gallo's improvements he made last year, keep going forward into this year. That's a great pick. I really wanted Gallo.
Yeah. That is, I mean, I think we all probably wanted a little Gallo if we could have gotten that. Hopefully this is, I know it says who's the 1.1 pick in 2020 fantasy. Is that showing up on the screen still?
I don't see anything.
Okay. All right. No, actually it's not. Okay. I guess it's just on my screen. This damn thing. Okay. But yeah, so Syndergaard being his only pitcher, I'm not sure what I think about Syndergaard these days. He's still got, youth on his side. We were talking about last year, like, wouldn't it be great if he just got traded to the Astros and they put it all together for him?
Right.
And that may still happen. So maybe Thor gets a little trade skis and can finally put it together. I would assume he's going to be taking more pitching here pretty soon. He's on his third outfielder with Laureano. Again, nice little grab there at 103.
Yeah.
And Evans' team, I like the players he has. I'm a little like, what's going on here with the direction? There's a handful of teams like that, and it's not a criticism because this is a dynasty. You can build your dynasty any damn way you please. So, my opinion matters for shit. But, he starts out Arenado Alonso. That's a lot of power. That's real nice. Alonso's pretty young. The Alonso Paddock, nice. Nola, nice. And then he just goes like
3 straight prospects.
Yeah, 3 straight prospects. And they're good prospects, but it's just like, eh. And then he gets the Aquino, that's a nice little pick. So he's one of the managers with 8 players. But yeah, like the 3 straight prospects, it's a little bit kind of a mishmash to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not exactly how I would build my team. And there are, there's a lot of players who've done that already. You've done that kind of mishmash. It's a dynasty, so there's no real reason not to or reason you couldn't do that and still be very successful. Because again, maybe you're not trying to win year one. You want to get those prospects.
Right. And even with the prospects, even if you do find yourself in a position to win, you've got elite prospects to trade for the guys you need.
Yeah, you can trade them away. Or again, like maybe when we're talking about prospects way deeper, way later in the draft, maybe, Evans like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, like with the really, really deep prospects. So I want to make sure I get some top prospects early on. You know what I mean? I'm more comfortable getting some greasy
and those
vets.
names definitely wouldn't like be around.
Yeah. And the Christian Robinson again, Rushman, Luciano, great prospects to grab. So that makes sense too in that regard. Okay, so J.R. Becks, trying to remember who he is. Sorry, again, I forget some of these people. I got a crap memory. This is another one of those where it's like, a mix. It's young, but like I guess Javier Baez and Starling Marte just sort of don't fit, if that makes sense. Not that there's anything wrong with that, like we were saying. You got your Vlad. We all know what Vlad can do. We all know what Walker Buehler can do. Very young, top flight pitching. Kopech, a little unproven. We don't really know what we're going to get from him yet. Obviously, innings limit. Like Mize, there is no such thing as a pitching prospect. And then Kirilloff, So it is like we're saying here. It's that half and half guy mix. Again, who knows? It could very well be the situation where it's like, get your good prospects early and then scoop the greasy vets later.
And part of it, I just think, is that there was a big prospect run around those innings and around those rounds, and people felt like, okay, I need to grab who I want now.
Yeah, basically like rounds 4 through 6, I think it was. There's like everybody's kind of like scooping up all those like big name prospects. Okay, here we go. Here's another interesting team. I like this one. This is another nice win now. This is the guy that got Muncy. Mark Begay, or Beggy. Again, sorry with the pronunciation. My bad. Tatis was a great way to start it off. A little surprisingly early, I suppose, but not for Dynasty. There's no such thing as too early for Dynasty. I don't know that I would do a redraft team with I don't know. Maybe you would. See, it feels early, but maybe it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd want Tatis over like a Trey Turner probably.
Right. And I think if he had a full season, I mean, it would.
Yeah,
Because, he was one of the ones that got injured, but, he won Rookie of the Year if he had played the entire season.
Yeah. And then, of course, Ohtani, being daily lineups, you're not hamstrung by Ohtani in any capacity. Okay, got his start, early part of the week. The rest of the week, I'm going to use him in the utility slot, DH him, So he's got, and again, a healthy full year of Ohtani in a dynasty setup is going to be interesting. I've got him in the F&A dynasty. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be interesting. It's like getting a free pitcher almost, because last year, you got pretty decent offensive numbers out of him. But
yeah, and even some steals.
Yeah. So I can't argue the 25th overall there. I mean, I'm actually surprised he didn't go a little sooner when you think about it. Just what he could potentially give you, both pitching and hitting.
Yeah.
Then Bogarts, Sale, Chapman. Yeah, he's the guy that got Chapman. Yeah. I'm actually glad I went with Moncada instead of Chapman. I love Chapman, but I'm pretty glad I got Moncada.
Yeah.
And then Kepler, great outfielder to have. Muncy, this is another win now.
Yeah, I especially like his last two picks. They're both Kepler great in OBP leagues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Muncy's like monster. Plus the positional eligibility. It's like, oh, whoops, I didn't get you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get a certain infield position. Well, I'm covered. So, yeah, that's a nice little win now setup. And then, okay, here's Mike L. He's another one of the 8 players. Oh, shit, he took Dahl. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you bastard, Mike. I was hoping he'd sit there for another round or two, but so he's full win now. Mike's not messing around. The Devers, Harper, Springer. And considering he was able to get Scherzer in the 4th round, granted it's a wrap pick, but around pick 50, that's pretty nice. And then he doubled it up with Strasburg, obviously. So, you'd almost think he was a Washington Nationals fan here with the Keyboom or Kaiboom or whatever. But Rizzo, and again, this is pretty much just straight win now. Yeah. Because, right, Keyboom should be.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll break camp, but I can't see them keep him down for more than, say, a month.
Yeah, especially, like we're talking about if Rendon's free agent and he goes somewhere else,
Yeah.
But the Dahl, I mean, damn, nice little 25, 26-year-old outfield piece there. So his outfield's looking pretty hot. It's not bad. I like that. And then Nate, again, Nate surprised me. He's got another little bit of a mix and match team here. I kind of expected the way he started out with Bellinger and Glaber. I had expected him to go for a straight win now, and Adele should be,
yeah,
in another May kind of. Yeah, he should be another May, June kind of call up, but just the way he went with Adele, Kalanick, and Gore, it just sort of surprised me. Senzel, not too young, but nice piece. Again, just a little more half and half than I expected. And I really, honestly, because Nate and I had been talking about how there's no such thing as a pitching prospect. And then he goes ahead and takes Gore, I was like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. That surprised me. Yeah, I mean, this is, when you got your first year dynasty, like you get the guys you want. Like I almost think that almost comes ahead of a like specific strategy in some regards. Like you should always have a strategy going into a dynasty draft, but it's a fresh dynasty. Why not get players you like?
Yeah, I mean,
That's almost
at the end of the day, we're all doing this because we have fun doing it, and it's most fun to own the guys you like, the guys you want. You want to see them grow up on your team, basically.
yeah. So you're going to be all over the players you like the most, and that's its own strategy. It's its own reward, going in. I mean, I like to play for a win now. Just, you never know how long a dynasty league is going to last, and that's probably not, maybe fair to Nate. Obviously, his league will last. I'm assuming it will, anyways. God forbid something weird happens and we all quit or something. I don't see that happening, but that's just kind of my standard procedure. There is just always draft for win now. But it's almost like you're missing out. Like you're not having as much fun. Maybe, I don't know. Although winning is its own fun. So
yeah, I was about to say at the end of the year when you win.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of at the end of the year here, let's just talk about these bastards. Oh man, yeah. These two guys they've been getting me pretty good. Oh man, yeah. Pepsi Pete. This team is just not fucking around. This team is like, hell, I'm gonna win. Screw you guys. I'm winning now. Like Trey Turner, Aaron Judge, JD Martinez, Altuve, Verlander, Kershaw, old black man, and then Patrick Corbin. I mean, this is just like
there's nothing lacking on that team. You're gonna get steals with Turner, and you a ton of power with the rest of them.
The only thing you can hope for is that you catch him on a Rockies road trip week or something like that. When you're, you know what I mean? Like, all right, last week of the season, Rockies are on the road. I'm like a point and a half behind Pete. All right, Blackman's doing nothing. That's about what you could hope for there, I guess. I don't know, man. But yeah, look at these greasy vets. Look at all that. That's just, there's no question about what's going on there. And then, of course, Prospects Boulevard. So these guys are actually both turns. This, Pete at no, actually, okay, I take that back. Not both turns. Pete's almost at the turn here with 15, but Boulevard here, Acuna number 1, and then Bichette. Like really, the only air quotes young question mark I would say is Bichette, and even that's not much of a question mark.
Really.
I mean, Acuna, Bichette, DeGrom, Bauer, Super Nintendo, Severino. He's the guy that got my Severino. After you took Luzardo, bastard. And then Goldie. Like, so that was, I guess that's where I was kind of glad that I got Mancini. Like, all right, ass now fell. Would have preferred Severino, but I'm glad I didn't end up with like a Goldschmidt instead of, So, but yeah, I mean, these two teams are just definite win now teams. So I'd say that's pretty much like, you got your mix of like, that's what, 5-6 win now teams.
Yeah.
And then I'd say there's probably 4 to 5 tricycle teams where it's just like real young. And then everybody else is kind of in the middle where they're like, all right, I want to make sure I get some known knowns and I want to make sure I get some top flight prospects too. So, those guys are going to be middle of the pack. Then you're going to have your absolute tank, like, playing for next year's picks. And then the handful of us that are hopefully, playing for that trophy. But just looking at it right now, I'm already like, oh God, how the hell are we going to get past Pete?
Yeah, I mean, those teams are the most like win now because like the rest of them, like you and me, we're kind of towing the line, getting some young guys, but these guys,
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I can find a little something that'll like sneak me past Pete, but there's Sneaky Pete. You ain't sneaking past Pete. That's just, I mean, that's a lot of power. That's a lot of speed. That's quality pitching. I mean, yeah. And then again, like, same thing going on over here with prospects. So I don't know. There's gonna be some tough competition already. I can tell you that much right now. It's already looking stout, and we still have what? Good Lord, I don't know what, 43 rounds to go.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That'll be interesting. I think I better start studying up on prospects. Might have to trade a few of them. I don't know. Good Lord. No, I just don't see a handful of those teams. They're not going to bend at all. I mean, Pete's just going to be hammering it. I don't know who's on the clock right now, or like who's still sitting there in the draft. Q or whatever, or Lalabi, but I might have to get some old men on the team. Some salty sea dogs. Because I've been playing that like middle of the road, like we were saying, where it's like veterans but young. Might have to get like some old man on there, like, I don't know. We'll see what's out there. We'll have to see. I don't know. So what you got any kind of like strategy you want to talk about? You're willing to talk about, or win now, obviously.
We're starting to get to that point in the draft where teams like you and me that are towing the line, we're starting to run out of those young guys that are going to contribute right away.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going, because I do want to compete. I want to win this year, so I am going to have to start moving towards that older age group.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've got a good core, but yeah, it's time to start, especially now that Dahl's gone. I mean, Dahl would have been a nice little. He would have been perfect for my team for sure, but that ship sailed. So, yeah, I think we're gonna have to start looking at like some old dude that's like, you're like, hold your nose a little bit.
Yeah, the boring picks in a dynasty.
Yeah, but at least we got our core. I think that part's good. I mean, I still need a little bit more pitching, I think. So I'm sure there's going to be some old dude out there that's like, okay, all right, I can live with that, but we'll have to see. I think it's definitely about that time to either kind of switch and go real young. I was even thinking about this. Like, do I grab like a handful of prospects that I know are like 2020, 2021 guys?
Right.
With the upside, assuming they're going to be up like as early as this year, or do I just keep hammering the vets? So it's kind of like right on that line for me. But yeah, like we were saying, if we're gonna go win now, it's probably time to start looking at old men. We're gonna shop in the old man catalog, the Tommy Bahama catalog. It's gonna get ugly. Oh geez. I don't know, but so far it's been a fun draft. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next couple of rounds. We'll see. I mean, I know there's going to be more prospects going. Like by the end of this draft, like, of all, like, all right, so you've got like two really opposite ends of the spectrum with, Pete's team being just old as dirt. And then you got Phil and Cubby that are just like, they're all riding around on tricycles. You know what I mean? So like by the end of the draft, I want to see the two opposite spectrums. You know what I mean? Like just how extreme they are compared. Like just that'll be an interesting comparison. I'm sure we'll have another little podcast here and go through that within I don't know, maybe like round 20 or something like that. We'll take another look. But so far so good. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Everybody I think is enjoying what they're doing so far. And again, if you have never done a dynasty draft this deep, you're just watching this video on YouTube or listening to the podcast on iTunes, check it out. Give yourself a little bit of a challenge. Of course, we're on Fantrax. That's the best place to play any kind of dynasty baseball. So don't waste your time with ESPN or CBS or Yahoo, because they're not even going to have what you want. So give Fantrax a little check out there, and you'll be happy. You'll be glad you did. It's worth investing your time learning the new format.
Yeah, I mean, Dynasty, prospects, Fantrax, they add the players before they pick up a glove, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I think my kid's in there too. Nate wants to remind us, if you go on his Twitter at DynastyOneStop, there is a Google Sheets, like a Google spreadsheet, that you can follow along with. That if you're not in the league, you can just follow along and just see who's drafting what where. That's a good way to kind of keep up with it, and just maybe you're only going to do a 12-team league, but you want to see like, okay, where did so and so go?
Right.
Check out the spreadsheet. That's a good way to go. Most of us that are doing our own draft, like Twitter feed, again, hashtag DS1Dynasty. That's another way to follow.
Is it DS1 or is it D1S? Or am I misremembering?
I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking it up. D1S, DS1,
D1S.
D1S. Okay, maybe I'm screwing it up. Oops. We'll fix it. Whatever. Somebody's asleep at the wheel again. Yeah, check it out. It's okay. D1S. I better double check that. I don't know.
I did. I just double checked it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was gonna have to check mine, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, again, if you found this informative, or you're interested in doing some sort of deep dynasty, you got questions, leave a comment down below, thumbs up, subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when we're doing more videos and podcasts. And this will be posted on iTunes shortly. And of course, you can always find it on the website, DynastySportsAddicts.com. The brand new grand opening of DynastySportsAddicts.com. And of course, your first article is posted there. And Nate, his Dynasty One Stop trade review from all the core 4 leagues last year. So I think he made 72 trades last year. And there's a little rundown about all those good articles. Check them out. Yeah, just appreciate you hanging out. We'll catch you guys back in the draft lobby. I believe some of us have picks coming up, so that'll be exciting, right?
Oh yeah, I got them lined up, so don't take them.
Yeah, please don't take our players. We don't want to get machine gunned, sniped, or rum-hammed. But yeah, Andrew, thanks for hanging out. Your Twitter handle, of course, is at FantasyAid1. And mine is at letter F, letter S, the word double, letter A, FSAA. We appreciate you guys hanging out this afternoon. Just close with the Fantasy Sports Serenity Prayer here. Andrew, do you want to chime in here, or shall I?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Fantasy gods, please grant me the serenity to set my ideal lineup, the courage to add drop aggressively, and the wisdom, as always, to make good trades. Amen. Thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment. FantasySportsAddicts.com. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Good show. Good show. Thank you, Andrew. I'll talk to you later. See you in the draft lobby. And once again, thank you to Nate, of course, for hosting.